Great to have you here with us this morning. So on Monday, and of course on our show yesterday, we talked a lot about this. Premier Wynne announced that she is going to make sure that refugee claimants and those who, well, they've basically been turfed out of this country, she's going to make sure that they get gold-plated health care. Healthcare that not even Ontarians can get access to. It's really a slap in the face to a lot of people, including those who are joining us next, who can't get coverage to have life-saving medicine. We are joined now by Madi and her mom Beth, who are here to talk about something that is very personal to you. So I appreciate you coming in. Madi, you have a very rare form of cystic fibrosis.
Yes.
Tell me about it. What is it like to have cystic fibrosis? What does it feel like?
It's hard and it feels like you're in a bubble because you're kind of trapped in something. So, yeah.
You need really, really expensive life-saving medicines, and you have to take those medicines. Mm-hmm. It costs your family up to, what, $350,000 a year to get those medicines. What does it feel like when you take them? Do they help?
They help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really cautious about losing it because it's really expensive, so yeah.
Beth, I mean, this is something that Madi has had since she was 8 months old. Mm-hmm. And this has really taken your whole family's, I mean, this is what your family focuses on.
Absolutely.
What's the stress like of knowing that you have to, on your own? I mean, your husband works full-time. Mm-hmm. He's covered by 50%. The drug companies, as I understand, cover 30%, but that still leaves about $5,700 a month.
That's correct.
That you have to come up with, and you are full-time taking care of Madi. So the stress of this every month for you.
It's unbelievable, worrying, seeing my daughter go from last year being so sick in the hospital, a great deal of the time, being treated by oral antibiotics and intravenous antibiotics at home, to seeing her on this drug doing remarkably well. The disease actually by the diagnostic test is gone because she's on the medication. Her lung function is up. She's a normal kid now. Seeing that is incredible. However, when you look at a drug that's sitting there that we can't afford without the support of our community, which is the only way that we have it right now, it's a worry. We just think that we're going to have to lose everything to keep her on it, which we will do, of course.
Yeah.
And then at that point, what do you have?
Why isn't it covered?
We're really not sure. The explanation that we've had is that there's a process being handled by the PAN Alliance, which is a group that is supposed to be responsible for negotiating a price because it is expensive, as well as criteria to have this drug funded. Health Canada recommended that this drug be covered by the provinces back in December 2012. Since that time, it's been sitting in limbo. Every time I've got a complaint into the Ombudsman's office because I'm like, let's push and get this done. There's people that are literally dying of this disease right now waiting to get this drug, and they're saying the PAN Alliance is handling it, and as far as I know, they're not. Vertex, the company, has offered pricing, and often they don't even get back to Vertex to try and get negotiations going. This drug is covered in, I believe, 10 or 11 other countries right now where pricing and criteria has been set. So why we can't go to them and see how, and just follow the protocol and get that done is beyond me, because it's, you know, a year later and we're not any further to having this resolved.
Madi looks like a perfectly healthy young woman. I mean, beautiful, you know, you walked in here, you glow, but the reality is she has a very deadly illness. I mean, what are the hard times like?
The hard times are terrible. Prior to being on Kaleido, we lived literally day to day. So we were generally, if you weren't in a sickness, you were trying to ward off the next sickness. We lived with bags packed pretty much, because often you'd go down to sick kids for an appointment.
So is it like a flare-up? It just flares up?
Yes, it's something that happens where a cold within a day turns into a pneumonia, which you're admitted for 2 weeks into the hospital minimum. So we would go down to an appointment and often just be told, we're staying there, we're getting you a bed, and she's going in, and you're stuck in there for 2 weeks. And you come home often with home care, so we have nurses coming home and looking after. She missed 96 days of school last year due to this, and now she's behind trying to catch up.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be happening if she's on Kaleido.
It also wouldn't be happening if the government, A, stopped wasting all our money, as you've heard in the Auditor General's report, and B, if they didn't prioritize refugee claimants. I mean, the reality is, they've basically said to your daughter, we're going to make sure other people who aren't even Canadians are more important. I mean, does it anger you? Does it frustrate you?
It makes me crazy. It makes me crazy. We've been here. And other CF patients across Canada have had their families paying taxes and giving to this country forever, and they're letting Canadians with this disease die and giving that money that could be saving their lives, literally saving their lives, to other people that shouldn't even be here. So I'm sorry, but no, it makes me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, have you had a meeting with the minister? Have you been able to go to? I mean, it alarms me that you would even have to go with Madi and talk to this woman and say, like, can you give me the meds? Can you help us? Because you're not alone. There are other meds and other people out there who are fighting to get their treatments covered and being denied.
Absolutely. Kim Fletcher, who's been in the news a lot, the fact that that poor woman is spending her last months with us fighting and advocating for others and raising money when she should be spending that time with her family, making memories, just to me is appalling that that's even happening. We have not been invited to have a meeting with the minister. I did send a letter and got a response that I found out at a later point was like a form letter that had gone up that she tried to personalize to us, which was like a slap in the face when you're trying to advocate. We have a website with some of Madi's life to personalize it for her. I want to say this is a person. This is a human being in Canada. She's not just a number. She's not just a dollar value. Look at her and tell me why this isn't covered. And I got a generic response back, which to me was just like a slap in the face.
What would you like to say to the minister and to those who really don't understand? What would you tell them, Madi?
People need this now and they're dying, and if I don't get it, I could go to that point, but people need it now.
I know that you do a lot of fundraising, bake sales. I mean, Canadians and those in your community have really kind of wrapped their arms around you.
Yeah.
And they're helpful, and I know that you work really hard to raise money for your medicine, but I don't really think they should have to do that. I mean, why can't outsiders raise their own money for their own illnesses?
Yeah, as Christina Blizzard said, bake your own cakes. She said that in the article yesterday, and that's so true. Like, you know, our community's coming and saving Madi's life. Like, they're literally saving her life. They're putting a lot of time, money, and effort into this for us. I don't think they should have to. We know that it's not sustainable. It just can't keep going on. So at what point do we not have that funding anymore? And the government should be stepping up and doing that and taking care of our people.
It's not just Ontario. There are other provinces who are also following
They're
suit.
all in the
They're
same
all doing
boat.
this.
That's correct.
And I think it's a sad state of affairs in this country when we put those who don't pay into the system, who aren't Canadians, are put ahead of folks like yourself. What's the next step? I mean, I know that you do a lot of fundraising. What's the next step, and how can people find out more information about Madi and what you're doing?
Yeah, we have a website called oh my goodness, I don't even know it.
We will put it up.
Thank you. I don't even know it.
But you do have a website.
Madi's Miracle Meds, and I believe it's youcaring.com.
Yes, it is. I was just looking it up, actually.
Gina is all things social media.
Thank you.
She's been gauging
we
reactions.
We have that, and we're going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep going down to Queen's Park, and I'm going to keep pushing buttons and talking to our MPPs and talking to our MPs until this is changed and Canadians come first with our health care and look after our own before we look after everybody else.
Madi, you are really active for 12. You've got a passion for horses, as I understand.
Yes.
You have a friend in me because I love horses. I grew up riding horses, and it's wonderful that you can still do that. I want to bring in our Gina Phillips because I know that this story, I posted this on my Facebook, appalling that we even have to talk about this. And I know a lot of people are very angered by it.
They certainly are, and as you mentioned, Alex, it's people across the country reaching out to Madi actually online on our Facebook page. So if her family wants to go on there and check out all of the supportive comments that she is getting, I mean, it's some of them are hard to read because they really want to help and they want to know how, and so I am providing this link, youcaring.com, and trying to help with this fundraiser for Madi and the drugs that she needs to save her life. So I want to read off some of these comments that we're getting on our Facebook page. Carol says, if it was someone's daughter in office, trust me, she'd have all the meds she needs. Interesting point. Jan says, did I miss something? This is Canada, right? And Laura says, that is an unfair process of individuals that are citizens of this country. I wish they would start looking after their own first. I'm ashamed that this is going on.
Yeah, a lot of people are. So we know the power of social media, and I urge everyone, get out there and have your say. contact your MP. Contact your MP. It shouldn't be happening because I know the feds closed their door on this program and wanting to prioritize Canadians. So I thank you so much, Maddie, for coming in as well today. Beth,
Yes.
Great,
with
thank
you, we
you.
will make sure that the word gets out. And don't give up your fight.
We won't for sure. Thank you. Appreciate that.